What if winning wasn't enough? What if dominating your division, clinching back-to-back NFC East titles for the first time in 2 decades, still left a bad taste in your mouth? Because after the Philadelphia Eagles' 29-18 win over the Washington Commanders, that's exactly where Saquon Barkley found himself, frustrated, conflicted, and openly calling out a moment that nearly overshadowed a historic victory. Welcome back to NFL Snapwire. Let's break it down. On paper, this game was a statement. The Eagles controlled the pace, dictated the physicality, and reminded the NFC East who still runs the division. But beneath the scoreboard, tensions boiled over, and not just between players in burgundy and green. Late in the fourth quarter, with just over 4 minutes remaining, Nick Sirianni made a decision that instantly raised eyebrows across the league. Instead of taking the safe extra point, he sent out the offense for a 2-point conversion, despite already holding a commanding lead. And that decision lit the fuse. Jalen Hurts handed the ball to Saquon Barkley, who powered left, absorbed contact from linebacker Bobby Wagner, and forced his way into the end zone. Technically, it was just another successful play. Emotionally, it was gasoline on a rivalry that was already burning. What followed wasn't football. Almost the entire Commanders' defense rushed in, Mike Sainristil, Javon Kinlaw, Quan Martin, Nick Bellore, all visibly agitated. Words turned into shoves. Shoves turned into punches. Face masks were grabbed. Helmets were yanked. Flags flew everywhere. Guard Tyler Steen found himself in the middle of chaos, and while left tackle Jordan Mailata rushed in to protect his teammate, it was Steen who took the brunt of the punishment. Referees struggled to regain control as the scuffle escalated into something dangerously close to a full-on brawl. 6 flags were thrown. 3 players were ejected: Steen, Kinlaw, and Martin. And Saquon Barkley? He wasn't just watching. Barkley sprinted in to defend his teammates, even shoving a referee in the confusion, something that could have easily resulted in discipline. Later, he admitted the Commanders were acting out of frustration because the game was slipping away. But Barkley wasn't celebrating. In the post-game locker room, instead of boasting about the win or the division title, Barkley delivered a message that sounded more like a warning. "We got to be better," he said. "We got to take care of each other. That's a brotherhood, on their side and our side. Just to say you're a tough guy, it's not really worth it. You lose a lot of money too. We got to keep it football." That wasn't trash talk. That was leadership. Barkley made it clear he understands the rivalry, maybe better than anyone. "This team don't like us, and we don't like them either," he admitted. "But we got to keep it football." And that's where the tension truly lies, because Barkley's words weren't just aimed at Washington. They were aimed inward. The Commanders and Eagles have history. Last season, Philadelphia embarrassed Washington by dropping 55 points in a conference matchup, the most ever in a conference playoff game. In this season's Week 16 meeting, the Eagles already held a 17-point lead late in the game. So why go for 2? According to Nick Sirianni, it was math, not malice. He explained that a 17-point lead still left a theoretical path for a comeback. A 19-point lead, however, would require Washington to score 2 touchdowns, convert 2 two-point attempts, and kick a field goal just to tie. On paper, it makes sense. In reality, rivals don't see paper, they see disrespect. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn didn't hide his frustration. He warned that the decision would be remembered and hinted that payback could come in the season finale. In a division where grudges last for years, not weeks, that message carried weight. But the Eagles aren't backing down. Since 2021, Philadelphia owns the best road record in the NFL. They've thrived in hostile environments, silenced crowds, and embraced the villain role when necessary. Sirianni has never shied away from pushing emotional buttons, even if it comes at a cost. Saquon Barkley, however, sees the bigger picture. For him, unity matters more than ego. Discipline matters more than message sending. And winning the right way matters more than humiliating a rival. His frustration wasn't about fear of Washington, it was about protecting his team from unnecessary distractions, fines, suspensions, and momentum-killing chaos. Because in January, those moments matter. The Eagles are built to contend. Their roster is deep, their quarterback battle-tested, and their running game dangerous. But championships aren't just won with talent, they're won with composure. And Barkley knows it. That's why his words might end up being more important than the two-point conversion itself. Because while Sirianni coaches with aggression, Barkley leads with perspective. The Eagles don't need to prove they're tough. They need to prove they're focused. And if this locker room message lands the way Barkley hopes, this moment, frustrating as it was, could actually sharpen them for what's coming next. Because when the playoffs arrive, no one will care how loud the rivalry was. They'll care who kept their cool and who didn't. That's it for today on NFL Snapwire. If you want more real stories behind the headlines, hit like, subscribe, and stay locked in. We'll see you next time.